Hey guys, Janelle and Eddie here.
Welcome, welcome, welcome.
We're so excited to have you, and this is your official welcome to the How to Make $1,000 in 10 Days challenge.
Dollar bills, y'all.
That's exciting, right?
Yeah.
So we don't know how you found us, but we are, again, really excited that you're here. That tells us that you're willing to do hard things to grow your business. But lucky for you, this isn't going to be a very hard challenge. It's just going to be something that you've got to be dedicated for and really kind of get to work.
Yeah, and if this is the first time you've interacted with us, I'll give you a little bit of insight of who we are, right? So we have both been in leadership and in running businesses for more than 20 years. I know we look really young, but we've got that. But over the years, we've learned how to manage business, how to bring products to life, how to manage people, navigate the dynamics of the economy and all those different things. And I watched my wife take all that information, all that knowledge of years and years of work and pour it into her own business and do it in a very effective way.
Well, thank you. So you know a little bit about us. We like sales, we like people, we love business. We love to help people like you bring their big passions and goals and dreams to life. And so a few things that we do, we have the Push podcast. That's supposed to give you like perspective and kind of a kick in the butt because that's what friends do for friends, right?
Absolutely.
We also are new to TikTok. We are the Copelands. So if you're interested in what it takes to juggle a business, run a household, be parents, send kids off to college while vacationing and having shit go wrong, then you might enjoy following us on TikTok under We Are the Copelands. But that's enough about us. We want to hear about you. Let us know in the comments where you're watching from, where you're from, how long you've been in business, or how long you've been waiting to start your business. And we're not going to get into all of those answers right now because we've got so much to talk to you about in this training. But we are going to be spending the rest of the day going through all of your comments. Why? Because we want to get to know you. We want to connect with you. We want to see your businesses, see what your offers are, and see how we can help and just be of service.
Yeah, hearing your voice helps us a lot. I mean, we know we've talked to many of our students. We've had thousands of students that we've helped and supported, and we learn so much from them and their struggles and the things that they've gone through. But it helps us with creating better material and content to help improve your business as much as possible.
Yeah. Another thing we care about is community. I know it sounds kind of corny and very cliche, but one of the things we want you to do is leave the link to your business page in the comments below so that other people can go on and click and follow and connect. And here's the trick. If you find someone in your area, don't be alarmed that they're a competitor and they're going to see all of the stuff that you're learning. It's really great if you guys are able to connect. I'm telling you right now that the power of being able to leverage someone in your neighborhood or say, hey, I've got this massive order, I really could use your help. Like that is so powerful, and we've seen it happen over and over with hundreds of students in our community. So we want to encourage you to use the comments to connect and get to know other people because let's be real, not a lot of people understand what we do as business owners. It can feel very lonely and isolating. And then when you start to watch people from afar, then that comparison can creep in and stifle you. So we don't want any of that. We want you to be friends.
Yeah, we want you to collaborate over competition, right? Collaboration over competition. Yeah. That's her saying, but I think that that's super important as you collaborate with people and you learn from one another. The world's a really big place, and there's room for everyone to grow their business, and you can learn a lot, and you can also share a lot of the things that you're going through so that you know you're not alone.
Yes, so every day we're going to ask you to tune in live, put it on your calendar, make it a priority because things that are important you show up for.
Absolutely.
So if you're able to show up live with us, then let's interact, let's have fun, and we promise to keep it super short and meaningful, and we've got a whole workbook and tactics and strategies that should be really easy for you to implement, right? Yeah. And we are very aware that some of you are running households, working 9-to-5s while trying to grow your business, trying to be good wives and mothers or husbands, whatever it is you do. And so we've definitely said to ourselves, okay, what are we asking them to do? How long should this take? And so you can rest assured that we're not going to be asking you to do 20 hours of work today for homework. It's going to be easy, simple, and fun. You just got to show up.
Yep.
Right?
Showing up is half the battle, right?
Yes. Let's tell them what this training is not about.
So this training is not about you landing some crazy wholesale deal that's going to have you working day and night slaving over, trying to make these orders and meet
for the
the
next
deadline.
3 months.
Right. This is not about that.
Or, taking a wholesale account like that and getting paid 6 months from now. This training is about you making money now. Like, we want you to get paid now. So in the next 10 days, we're trying to find ways to get you to take $1,000 from people. And I'm going to be real with you. There's a little bit of a hidden agenda, if you will. We offer a training course. It's a masterclass for business owners like yourselves. It's called Passion and Profit. And it's getting ready to open for enrollment for the first time this year, right? And so what we do is we take a couple hundred students and we spend the next 10 weeks with them, really crafting their offers and going over standard operating procedures, sales strategies, and everything they need to grow their business. And so we want to spend 10 days with you and give you so much information and make sure you get quick results that you're like, you know what? I like Janelle and Eddie, and I want to spend 10 weeks with them.
Yeah.
So we're going to show you how to make the money up front, so that maybe if you're interested and you want to grow the business even further after 10 days, then you'll invest in this training and you'll hang out with us for 10 weeks.
100%. Like we mentioned, we have a push podcast. We are pushers. So we're trying to put you in action right now. But we are. We want to put you in action. We know some people sit on the sidelines or they need a push to get started. And so this training is to get you in action and then also be a building block for confidence that you actually can make some money in your business. And maybe you never thought you could. Yeah.
And so if you need a little push, I want you to raise your hand, use the raise your hand emoji in the comments. And you're in good company. But here's the thing. If you decide that after 10 days, like, hey, I got some really good information, but I'm not really in a position to join a 10-week course, no problem. We still want to be friends. We still want to know you, know your business. We want to connect with you because maybe it's a no this time, but it might not be a no in the future. And that's how you guys need to start looking at your business. Some people in the baking industry get so worked up when someone rejects them or tells them no about not being able to afford a cake today. That doesn't mean that those same customers won't be customers in the future. Right?
100%.
So moving on, we got to dive into today's lesson because we want to get these people going. But there's a couple things we want to talk to you about, and that is the difference between strategies and tactics. You want to take this?
Yeah, so strategies is really important to understand the difference between the two. Your strategy is like your overarching goal, what you're trying to do. And a strategy can have multiple short-term goals that are kind of clustered together in order to get a particular outcome or achievement. The tactics are the small detailed actions that you take on a day in and day out basis in order to make that strategy come alive and to achieve those goals within your strategy.
Right. So I'll give you 3 strategies that will help you grow your business. This is going to be the most important information that you get from this entire training that should make your business life a little bit easier. There's only 3 ways to increase your sales, right? Number 1 is you need more customers.
Yeah.
That's like the hardest one, and it sounds like it's a given, but if you know that the strategy is I've got to find more customers, what we're going to do today and for the next 9 days, 10 days, is we're going to give you the tactics for how to actually find more customers.
Yeah. And that takes a lot of energy. It takes a lot of work, and it may even take a little bit of an investment to get more customers, but that is an option you can go with. But there's other options as well.
Yeah. So number 2 is we have to increase your average transaction, right? So if you are currently selling a dozen cupcakes for $24, if we could bump that up to $30 or $35 for a dozen cupcakes, you've just grown your revenue.
Absolutely.
Right?
So just like if you added 20% more customers, if you added 20% more revenue to each transaction, you're actually increasing your sales the same.
Right.
Without all the hard work. You just have to come up with a creative way to increase that basket.
So what other coaches and mentors are going to tell you is like, oh yeah, you got to find a way to increase your prices. That's a great strategy, but it's kind of a blanket statement and it's hard. Let's be real. Like if we knew how to do that, then we would already have done that, right?
Yeah, and also when you're just increasing your pricing, which may be the case, you're not actually creating more value for your customer, right? So the goal is to add value for your customer so they come back for more.
Yeah, so we're going to give you tactics that will help you figure out how to increase your average transaction. And then the last one is you've got to increase your customer frequency. Yeah, I'm looking at way too many notes right now. So what does that mean? Increase your customer frequency.
Yeah, like I was alluding to before, when you add value and you bring something to the table that your customers really appreciate, then they want to come back.
Right.
And so your goal is to come up with a tactic that helps them come back more frequently to visit your business. So if they normally visit you and they buy something once a year for a birthday, what could you come up with or create and communicate to them to have them come back once a week,
right,
or maybe once a month? That would increase their frequency.
So let me ask you this and be really honest. In the comments, I want you to type in a Y very quickly if you have been guilty of working really hard to find followers and get attention on your business. You finally close the sale and then you're excited to fill the order, but you don't do a really good job of asking that customer to come back and purchase from you in the future. So I see this happen all the time. You are great at customer service. You make an amazing product. Your customers rave about it, but you fall short when it comes to asking them to be a repeat customer. So just type in a quick Y in the comments if that's you. No shade here, ever. We're here to learn, right?
Yeah.
So,
and as we finish talking about those tactics, and keep in mind this, you may have a goal of saying, I need to get my current customers to come back more often, and maybe the tactic you're using is not working. And so it's important to know when to change the tactic, but you don't have to change the strategy. The strategy may be right. You may be thinking, my customers are not visiting me enough, and so I need to follow through with that. I just got to find the right tactic that gives me the right results.
Right. I'm glad you said that, because not every tactic will work for every market, every target client. And so we're going to go over 10 days worth of strategies and tactics. And you'll see in the comments, some days, let's say day 1 today, which we haven't got into yet, some days you're going to kill it and some days might not work for you.
Right.
That's okay. We don't change the goal. The goal is still to make $1,000 over the next 10 days, but some of you are going to kill it on day 5, right? So stay encouraged and just know that we're here to just give you information. You got to get in action and you're going to see the results, I promise. So 100%. Let's dive into day 1. Day 1 today, the strategy that we're focusing on to get to $1,000 over the next 10 days is we want to increase customer frequency, okay? And so the tactic for today is we first have to start by tapping into our network. And so here's what I mean by that. Quick story. When I started the Cake Mamas, I didn't have any customers. Like some of you are starting from ground zero, right? So tapping into your network is necessary to even start getting customers so we can start making them return customers. We want to create relationships with them. We want to serve them. We want to get them talking about our business. So how do we do that? You tap into your network. Here's what I did when I started the Cake Mamas. I literally pulled up my personal email account and I went in and see all of the contacts that I had. I'm talking old bosses, old coworkers that I hadn't talked to in 4 or 5 years, old moms that used to volunteer at my kids' school. And I pulled every single email. There were hundreds of them. Today, I'm going to ask you to take 50 people that you haven't talked to recently. And I'm going to ask you to send an email out to them. And this is what I said. And I'm going to give you a template for this. So it's going to be really easy for you. You don't have to overthink this. You just got to sit in front of the computer for like 20 minutes, email, copy and paste 50 people. And I know that sounds scary, but this is what I did. Hey, James, who used to be my boss 5 years prior. I don't know if you've heard, but I started a business and I'm now baking, I'm making baked goods from home. I want you to take a look at my website and let me know if there are any upcoming holidays or birthdays that you're going to be celebrating. If so, I'd love for you to take a look and see if there's a way that the Cake Mamas can be a part of your celebration. Next, I wanted to know if, or something like, if you don't have anything coming up that you're celebrating, maybe you know someone who does. If so, I would really appreciate it if you could pass my information along because I'm trying to grow my business and I could really use your support. And then the last thing is I'm going to ask him to connect. If there's any way that you could give me a quick follow on Instagram or Facebook, wherever your social media of choice is, I'd really appreciate it. Here are the links. I hope to hear from you soon. Take care. Janelle.
I love it.
That's it.
Yeah.
So there were 3 key points that I addressed in there. 1, hey, this is an announcement. This is what I do. I'm reaching out to you. Do you need my services? And I'm offering you a chance to go look and see what it is that I offer.
Right.
So I'm asking you to buy something.
Yes.
Right?
Which is very different than what a lot of people do, because a lot of people start their business giving away things, right? And so this is a declaration and a proclamation of saying, hey, I have a business. Here's some services I offer. I want you to buy some stuff.
Right.
Buy my stuff.
Right.
Right.
But in a nicer way. And then number 2, if you don't have anything coming up specifically for you, like maybe it's not a kid's birthday, do you know anyone else who might be celebrating a birthday, graduation, or anyone that might be able to benefit from my services? If so, could you please pass this information along? I'm trying to grow my business. The more people that know about it, the better start I could get. Something simple that just basically is asking for what? Access to their network.
Yep.
Because I don't know everybody that James knows, but I know that James knows people that probably will eventually buy a cake or cupcakes or something, right?
And I love that so much, because that teaches you to start asking for referrals, right? And so as you start to build your customer base, referrals are going to be a big part of you growing that, especially when you add value, people want to share.
Yep. And then the last thing is I need to connect with you.
Yeah.
I was wondering if you could give me a quick
support.
follow. So I've got to build that foundation. I've got to start to grow the business. And I just want to say, you can do this at any stage. So some of you might be watching and you're a beginner. Like I'd say you're new to business. It's the first year or even first couple of months. If that's you, type in a B in the comments.
Yeah.
If you've been in it for a while, what could they type in? Type in a W. It's been a while. Like I've been at this for a minute. The reason I'm asking you to be a B or a W is because it doesn't matter. If you miss this step in the very beginning, then you can go and do it now.
Yeah.
Hey, not sure if you knew, James, but about a year ago, I started a business called The Cake Mamas, and I would love for you to take a look at my website, see if there's any way that we can serve you for any upcoming events, blah, 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 blah. Everything I just told you. Also, a reminder, you don't have to come up with this language. We're literally giving you a template.
Yeah. And can I just put a disclaimer out there?
Sure.
What you're not doing is seeking approval.
Explain what you mean.
And what I mean by that is you may be reaching out to people that you've worked with from in the past, people that have been an influence to you, a mentor to you, and they may have opinions about whatever the business you're starting, but you're not there to, this message is not to receive their approval. This is to get them to be a fan of your business, to partake in your business. And so I think it's just super important to know that, because if you're reaching out to family members who may say and have an opinion or a projection of what this business may end up being for you, that's not what you're doing.
Well,
right?
I have a whole nother rant about friends and family members. We want to reach out to people, friends, family members, coworkers, old bosses, people in your community. We want to reach out to them, but you're absolutely right. We're not looking for approval, but know that they're probably either, some of them won't respond. The people you think should respond probably won't. And that's okay.
100%.
Because the ones that do, they'll be like customers and we'll get money from them and we'll create relationships and it'll be great for your business in the future. But we don't want to give more weight to the people that are like, ooh, did you hear Janelle's starting a business? Like, I don't know, that's risky. We're on the verge of a recession. It's probably not a good idea. Literally, you guys, that happened to me when I started the Cake Mamas 12 years ago. It was 2008, the biggest financial crisis in our entire generation. Yeah. And we were in the middle of a recession. People were losing their homes, like people were losing their jobs. And I can't tell you how many people said, oh, this is not a good time for you to start a business. Yeah. You know what I said? No matter how broke you are, which we were broke at the time because we both lost our jobs. No matter how broke you are, you're going to find a way to celebrate your kid on their birthday. Yeah. So I will never be out of business because the celebration business is something that is always relevant. And so I was steadfast in my beliefs. I knew what I wanted to do and I was convicted. Now that meant I needed cheaper price points in the middle of a recession. That meant that I needed to figure out how to find ideal clients who cared about their kids celebrating whether they were broke or not. And we'll get into all of that later. But I just want you to know that people are going to try to talk you out of your dreams and we're not standing for that here.
No, full speed ahead. Let's go.
Okay, so That's all you're going to do today. You're going to leverage your personal network. Your homework is a minimum of 50 people that you're reaching out to. Again, copying and pasting, making a few quick edits. Make sure you don't send James to Tabitha. That's not a good look, right? They'll know that you're spamming people. And then just before we wrap it up, and we'll get into your questions later on in the comments, but before we wrap it up, I want you to know that there are 3 key things foundationally that every business needs. People need some way to view your offers. They need to go somewhere to see what it is that you sell, a portfolio, some offers. And so they need a way to view your offers. They also need some form of communication from you. How are they going to connect with you? How will they ask questions? Maybe that's email. I'll give you some options in a second. And thirdly, they need somewhere to be able to connect and follow you. Yeah. So what does that mean? That means you got to get busy today if you don't have all of your ducks in a row with those 3 foundational things. So again, where are people looking at your offers? Are you just copying and pasting a bunch of things? No, we don't want to do that. We need a website.
Yeah. And so I think just to add to that, I think when you think about what you're creating that's professional, that people can go to, you want it to be believable. Like you want to be people to believe and trust and interact with your brand. And that's the thing with just to kind of lay it out for you. If you can put something out like a really great website, they believe you. If you can, have something that they can connect with, there's a trust there. And then if they can interact with you, that even builds even further with them wanting to spend their money with you.
Yeah. And lastly, they need to be able to give you their money, right? So to me, that kind of goes back to number 1. If they're viewing your offers, they're clicking on the offer, viewing a description, looking at a picture, there needs to be some way that they can place the order, right? Yeah. And so some of you, I know you're guilty of okay, I'll send you a PayPal invoice.
Right.
That's fine. But for this training, we want to keep things super simple, but we want to be thinking long term. How can you make some money today, this week, in the next 10 days? But how can you also pay attention to how ineffectively you might be running your business? If you don't have a website right now and people are like, oh, it's 2022, you don't need a website, you just need social media. That is the biggest crock of BS ever. Now more than ever, you need a website. Yeah. What do you use every single day practically? And you can quickly place an order in less than 5 seconds and it shows up tomorrow. What app is that?
Amazon.
It's on a website, right? People use that every day. So your product should be equally and easily accessible. So think Amazon.
And along those lines of Amazon, think frictionless, right? So Janelle just said, if your website...
What did you say?
Frictionless.
Oh, frictionless.
Yes.
Okay, I was like, what is
frictionless.
That?
And what I mean by that is this. They should be able to go to your website. They should be able to click on a button and buy something.
Yep.
Not click on a button and you'll get back to them with an inquiry. Not click on a button and I'll see what I can do for you later.
And then I'll think about it for 5 days.
Yeah, no. People are conditioned. You yourself are conditioned to click a button and get immediate response that you've purchased something and you know when you're going to get it.
Yep.
Every customer should have that.
If you don't have a website, I would recommend going to Wix.com, W-I-X. In your workbook, we're going to give you a ton of different referrals. But this is not the time for you to say, I got to hire a web designer. Oh my God, I need a graphic artist to create a logo. I need to decide on my colors. We don't need any of that. As a matter of fact, last quick story. In the middle of the pandemic, my website, thecakemoms.com, it was ran on a WordPress, right? And our WordPress people were pandemicking, and so they were not accessible. I needed a way for people to give me their money quickly because now we were gonna do only online orders. Within less than 45 minutes, I switched thecakemoms.com to then go to Square.
Yeah.
Square was just the little reader you plug into your phone and you process a transaction. And then when I got into my brick and mortar bakery, we used it as our POS system. Square allows you to set up a website. So they'll take your payment, you can set up a website, you can upload photos, and then it's just a quick button for your customer. They say, yep, I want that. Here's when I'm gonna pick it up. I did that in 45 minutes. And the first weekend that we were open using only the Square website, we did over $10,000 in 3 days.
Bam.
So I'm telling you, please don't overthink it. We don't have time for that. We're trying to make $1,000 in only 10 days. It's day one. So leverage your network. And I want to hear how excited you are in the comments. Anything else you want to add?
Go do it.
Yeah.
You know, go into action. There's no better clarity about what you should do except for going into action. If I could just speak.
If you could
If I
get it out.
If I can get it out. If you're looking for clarity on what you should do, just go act.
Yeah.
Move on these things, and that will open up for you. You know exactly what the next steps are.
So what we're hoping is that you don't tune in every day to be live with us just to hear us talk, and you're like, oh my God, that's cool. I like them. This is great advice. But you don't actually do any of it. So today's exercises should take you no more than an hour. That's an hour to quickly set up some offers on Square or Wix if you want. That's an hour to go through old contacts and copy and paste the template that we're giving you. That's an hour to potentially ask 50 people to buy something from your business. I think that that's beyond doable, and we just want to keep things, again, easy, simple, and fun for you.
And if you are saying to yourself, oh, I already did that 5 years ago, or I already did that 2 years ago, do it again.
Yep.
Like, people are in a different place.
I did
People
it all
don't
the time.
People don't remember. This is a great time to redo those things. Do them again. We don't want to have any know-it-alls or I've done it before. Like, do it now. Do it while it's fresh in your mind, and I guarantee you'll get some responses.
Yes, so we're going to be spending the rest of the day going through your comments, looking for engagement, getting to know you, and just trying to see if you actually put this stuff into action. I want you to come back in these comments and tell me immediately when you get your first response and who it is, because that's going to be your dream customer, and they are going to get you close to $1,000 this week. I can feel it. So thank you guys so much for tuning in. We will see you tomorrow morning for the next live, the next strategy and tactic. But let's get busy because we got a lot of work to do and we got some money to make. We'll see you guys in the next video.
Bye.
Not in the next video, on the next